There comes a time in every person's life when they have to make a decision, not a small decision, not a convenient one, but a defining decision. A decision that says, I'm not here for comfort, I'm here for growth. Because comfort feels good in the moment, but it never builds the muscle, it never creates the fire, it never forges the kind of strength that lasts when life throws its hardest punches. You see, comfort is easy. It's the warm bed when you should be up chasing your dream. It's the distraction that numbs you when you should be learning, building, or pushing yourself to another level. Comfort is that voice in your head that whispers, you can do it tomorrow. But here's the truth, tomorrow is built by what you do today. Every rep, every struggle, every sacrifice you make now becomes the foundation of your strength later. When you choose to sacrifice today's comfort, you're not losing, you're investing. You're investing in a stronger mind, a more disciplined body, and an unshakable spirit. The late nights, the early mornings, the times you show up when no one's watching, that's where real strength is born. The people who win in life aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who kept going when it wasn't easy. Think about it. Every champion you've ever admired, every success story that inspires you, they all have one thing in common. They were willing to do what others wouldn't. They said no to distractions. They said no to comfort. They said yes to the grind, yes to the sacrifice, yes to the version of themselves they could become. Because deep down, they understood something powerful. Pain is temporary, but pride, strength, and fulfillment are permanent. When you train your mind to step out of comfort, you're building resilience. When you choose discipline over laziness, you're building integrity. When you stay focused while others drift away, you're building character. Every time you push through, your future self gets stronger, wiser, more capable. You're not just surviving the moment, you're shaping destiny. But let's be honest, the world around you will try to pull you back into comfort. Society sells comfort like it's the ultimate prize: easier jobs, faster results, instant gratification. They want you to believe that the shortcut is the path to success. But the shortcut doesn't build you, the struggle does. The journey, the grind, the challenge, that's what molds you into someone unbreakable. So ask yourself, are you willing to give up a little comfort now to gain something greater later? Are you willing to delay the easy satisfaction to experience real fulfillment? Because the ones who rise, the ones who dominate, the ones who create impact, they all understand this universal truth. Success demands sacrifice. You can't have strength without resistance. You can't have growth without discomfort. You can't build endurance in the sunshine, you build it in the storm. When you feel like giving up, remember, this pain you feel today is the price of the strength you'll stand on tomorrow. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of sacrifice, a version that's stronger, wiser, and more powerful than you can imagine. The question is, will you meet that version? Will you push through the tiredness, the doubt, the fear, the temptation to quit? Will you trust that what you're doing today, even when it hurts, is shaping you for something extraordinary? Because one day, you'll look back on these moments, the long nights, the struggles, the sacrifices, and you'll realize they were never a burden. They were a blessing. They were the fire that forged your strength, and you'll thank yourself for choosing growth over comfort, purpose over pleasure, and strength over ease. Sacrifice comfort now to build lasting strength later. That's the essence of transformation. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has understood this truth at a deep level. They knew that comfort feels good in the short term, but it costs you in the long run. It's the difference between those who dream and those who do. Comfort is seductive. It whispers to you, telling you that you deserve a break, that you've done enough, that it's okay to stay where you are. But the reality is, every time you give in to comfort, you trade a piece of your potential for a moment of ease. You can't grow if you're always protecting yourself from discomfort. Growth demands sacrifice. It requires you to do the hard things now so that life becomes easier later. The pain you feel today, the effort you put in, the energy you spend pushing yourself beyond your limit, all of it is the foundation of the strength you'll stand on tomorrow. When you choose to sacrifice comfort, you're telling yourself that your vision matters more than your feelings. Because feelings come and go, motivation fades, energy dips, moods change, but commitment, consistency, and sacrifice are what carry you through. Think of an athlete who trains before sunrise when the world is still asleep. It's not convenient, it's not comfortable, but every drop of sweat becomes strength. Every repetition, every early morning, every disciplined choice adds up to something powerful. The same is true in every area of life, business, relationships, health, mindset. Those who win are those who choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Comfort is a trap disguised as safety. It convinces you that staying where you are keeps you secure, but in reality, it keeps you stagnant. Growth happens when you stretch yourself beyond what's easy. When you step into discomfort, you activate your potential. You force your mind, body, and spirit to adapt, to rise, to become stronger. The person you want to be is hidden behind the walls of your current comfort zone. To meet that person, you must be willing to step through the resistance, to endure the friction, to live with temporary discomfort in exchange for lasting strength. Sacrifice doesn't mean suffering without purpose, it means choosing purpose over pleasure. It means delaying gratification now for the satisfaction of knowing you earned what's coming. It's about choosing to stay focused when distractions call your name. It's skipping the instant reward for the deeper reward that comes later, the reward of confidence, resilience, and power. Every time you push through the discomfort, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. That inner belief becomes your strength, and the more you challenge yourself, the stronger that belief grows. Most people avoid sacrifice because they misunderstand it. They think it's about giving something up forever, but it's not. It's about trading something small now for something greater later. You sacrifice sleep to chase your dream. You sacrifice entertainment to build your skill. You sacrifice comfort to create the version of yourself that's unstoppable. Every sacrifice is an investment in your future self. And while the world around you might not see the effort, while they might question your choices or doubt your path, the results will speak for themselves in time. Strength doesn't announce itself. It's revealed through the storms you survive and the mountains you climb. There will be moments when your mind tries to convince you to stop, to rest, to take it easy. That's when you must remind yourself why you started. You're not doing this for temporary relief, you're doing it for long-term freedom. Freedom from fear, from weakness, from limitation. Real strength isn't built when everything feels good. It's built when you push forward despite how you feel. It's built when you choose to do the hard thing when the easy thing is right in front of you. That's where the transformation happens. That's where you evolve. Every great success story is rooted in sacrifice. Every person who's achieved something extraordinary had to let go of comfort. They had to say no to average, no to distraction, no to excuses. They traded short-term comfort for long-term fulfillment, and that trade changed everything. The question is whether you're willing to make that same trade, because life will always offer you two paths, the path of comfort and the path of growth. One feels good now but leaves you empty later. The other challenges you now but fills you with pride and power later. The choice you make determines the strength you build. Sacrifice comfort today because it's the price of the life you're meant to live. Discipline today creates the freedom of tomorrow. That's a truth most people overlook because discipline doesn't feel glamorous. It's not loud or flashy. It's quiet, consistent, and sometimes painful. But while others chase instant results and quick rewards, the disciplined person understands that freedom is earned through structure, not luck. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's the tool that transforms potential into reality, dreams into results, and intentions into action. The life you desire doesn't come from wishful thinking. It comes from daily discipline, from showing up even when it's inconvenient, from doing the hard work even when no one's watching. Every time you choose discipline, you take control of your future. You decide that your goals matter more than your impulses. You reject the easy path in favor of the right one, and in that moment, you're not losing freedom, you're creating it. The freedom to live life on your terms, the freedom to choose instead of being controlled by circumstances, the freedom to look in the mirror and know you built your life with integrity and consistency. People often confuse discipline with restriction, but it's the opposite. Discipline is what gives you the power to do, be, and create more. It's the foundation that supports every form of success because without discipline, even the most talented person falls short. Think about the areas of your life where you crave freedom: financial freedom, emotional freedom, physical freedom, time freedom. None of them are achieved by chance. They're built through daily disciplines that compound over time. The person who practices financial discipline saves, invests, and plans while others spend mindlessly. And years later, they have options, stability, and peace of mind. The person who practices physical discipline works out, eats right, and stays consistent. And later they enjoy health, confidence, and energy that others envy. The entrepreneur who practices work discipline shows up every day, even when the results aren't immediate, and eventually builds something that gives them the freedom to live life on their own terms. That's what discipline does. It builds freedom brick by brick. But discipline isn't built overnight. It's a muscle. It's developed through repetition, through holding yourself accountable when no one else does. It's built when you choose focus over distraction, effort over laziness, purpose over comfort. And it's tested in the moments when giving up would be easier. That's where true character is forged. Discipline demands patience because the rewards are rarely immediate. It asks you to trust the process, to believe that every act of self-control is planting a seed that will bloom later. Most people give up because they can't handle the delay between effort and outcome, but those who stay consistent eventually taste a kind of freedom that only discipline can bring. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You will fall short sometimes. You will miss days. You will face resistance. But the key is to never let failure break the pattern. The disciplined person doesn't rely on motivation. They rely on standards. They've built habits that carry them forward even when their emotions fluctuate. Because motivation is fleeting, but discipline is permanent. It becomes part of who you are. It becomes your identity. You stop negotiating with your excuses because you know what's at stake. You stop relying on how you feel and start focusing on what needs to be done. That's when discipline stops being a burden and starts being freedom. Every decision you make today shapes your tomorrow. Every time you choose discipline, you're reinforcing the foundation of your future freedom. You're saying no to the things that drain your energy and yes to the things that move you forward. You're saying no to instant gratification and yes to long-term success. The small sacrifices you make today, waking up earlier, staying focused longer, saying no to distraction, become the reason you live freely later. Discipline doesn't just build success, it builds confidence. It gives you the power to trust yourself, to know that when you say you'll do something, you'll follow through. That kind of trust in yourself is the ultimate form of freedom. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's the difference between those who talk about what they want and those who go out and make it happen. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not opportunity, it's the relentless consistency of showing up every single day. When you master discipline, you master life. Because once you can control your actions, you can shape your outcomes. Once you can control your time, you can control your destiny. The small, disciplined actions you take today are the seeds of the freedom you'll enjoy tomorrow. The cost of discipline is temporary, but the reward is lasting. Every act of self-control today builds a future of limitless possibilities tomorrow. Growth only happens outside your comfort zone. That's the law of progress. You can't become stronger by staying where it's safe, where it's easy, where nothing challenges you. Comfort might feel good, but it's a silent killer of potential. It convinces you that you're fine where you are when deep down you know you're capable of more. Every breakthrough in life starts with a moment of discomfort. Every time you step into something new, something uncertain, something uncomfortable, you grow. Because growth and comfort cannot coexist. One must always give way to the other. You can't reach new levels of strength, success, or fulfillment by repeating the same actions within the same limits. You grow when you stretch, when you take risks, when you step into places that make you feel nervous but alive. The truth is, the comfort zone is deceptive. It gives you a sense of security, but that security is an illusion. It's not protecting you, it's holding you back. It's keeping you from discovering the deeper parts of who you are and what you're capable of becoming. When you stay comfortable, you stop learning, you stop evolving, you settle for what's easy instead of fighting for what's extraordinary. The moment you decide to challenge that comfort, to willingly face discomfort, you awaken a new side of yourself. That's where strength begins, in the moments when you feel uncertain, but you move forward anyway. Every successful person you've ever admired has spent years living outside their comfort zone. They took risks others avoided. They faced rejection, failure, and doubt, yet they kept moving forward, because they understood that every time they faced discomfort, they were growing, they were expanding their capacity, they were training their minds to adapt to uncertainty. Growth is a process of breaking and rebuilding, breaking your old limits and rebuilding stronger ones. And that process is never easy, but it's always worth it. You can't grow mentally, emotionally, or spiritually if you refuse to step beyond what feels familiar. Discomfort is the universe's way of saying you're leveling up. Every time you feel that resistance, that inner voice that says, "I don't know if I can do this," that's not a sign to stop. That's the sign that you're in the right place. Because that resistance means you're stretching beyond who you were yesterday. When you stay inside your comfort zone, you repeat your past. When you step outside, you create your future. The fear, the uncertainty, the struggle, they're all part of the process. Growth requires you to face them, not avoid them. You have to be willing to fail, to fall, to be uncomfortable, because that's how you build resilience, wisdom, and confidence. Think about any skill you've ever learned, any milestone you've ever achieved. None of it came from comfort. You had to try, fail, and try again. You had to stumble through awkward beginnings before you found your rhythm. That's the essence of growth. You start unsure, but through persistence you evolve. The people who grow the fastest are the ones who are willing to look foolish while they learn, to feel uncomfortable while they improve. Because they understand that discomfort is temporary, but the lessons it brings are permanent. The comfort zone keeps you in a cycle of predictability. The growth zone, on the other hand, exposes you to uncertainty, and that's where transformation lies. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the more comfortable you become with challenge. You start to crave growth instead of fearing it. You stop running from the unknown and start chasing it. Because every time you overcome something that once scared you, your confidence expands. You realize that fear doesn't control you, it only guides you toward the areas where you need to grow. It takes courage to step into discomfort. It takes faith to believe that on the other side of fear lies your next level. But once you experience growth, once you feel that shift within yourself, there's no going back. You begin to see discomfort as your greatest teacher. It teaches you patience, humility, strength, and adaptability. It teaches you that the limits you thought were real were only walls built by fear. And when you push past those walls, you discover just how limitless you actually are. Growth is not a comfortable process, it's uncomfortable by design. It stretches you mentally, challenges you emotionally, and tests you physically. But that's the beauty of it. Because every time you step into discomfort, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little braver. The pain of growth is temporary, but the power it creates lasts forever. The only thing standing between who you are and who you want to be is your willingness to step outside the comfort that keeps you stuck. Growth demands that you leave behind what's safe and step boldly into what's possible. Every struggle you face today forges your future resilience. That's the truth most people forget when they're in the middle of pain. When life hits hard, when everything feels heavy, when you question whether it's even worth it, that's the moment when your strength is being built. Struggle is not there to break you. It's there to shape you. It's the training ground of greatness. Every obstacle, every setback, every moment of doubt is sculpting you into someone who can handle more, do more, and become more. Without struggle, there's no growth. Without resistance, there's no power. You don't develop resilience in comfort. You build it in the fire of adversity, in the moments when quitting would be easier, but you choose to keep going. When you look at anyone who's strong, composed, and unshakable, understand that they weren't born that way. They were built that way through experience, through hardship, through relentless perseverance. Resilience is forged in the fight. It's created when you fall down 100 times and still find a reason to rise again. It's not about avoiding struggle. It's about embracing it as part of your evolution. Every challenge carries a lesson, every difficulty a gift. You may not see it now, but every tough situation you survive adds another layer of strength to your character. The pain you endure today becomes the foundation of your power tomorrow. Struggle is the universe's way of preparing you for what's next. You ask for strength, and life gives you challenges. You ask for courage, and life gives you fear to overcome. You ask for wisdom, and life gives you mistakes to learn from. That's how it works. The very things you wish would disappear are the same things building your resilience. Every time you face resistance, you're growing in ways you can't yet measure. Every time you fight through frustration, you're proving to yourself that you can endure more than you thought possible. That inner belief, the knowing that you can survive, becomes your greatest weapon. The strongest people in the world aren't those who never struggled. They're the ones who struggled the most and refused to give up. They turned their pain into purpose, their setbacks into strength. They understood that struggle wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Because every difficulty refines you, it strips away weakness, ego, and fear, leaving behind only what's real and powerful. Struggle forces you to confront yourself, to dig deep, to find strength you didn't know existed. That's what resilience truly is, the ability to keep moving forward no matter what stands in your way. When you're in the middle of a struggle, it's easy to feel like it's never going to end. It's easy to believe that the pain is permanent. But if you keep moving, if you keep pushing through the discomfort, one day you'll look back and realize that every hardship served a purpose. It taught you patience when you wanted results. It taught you focus when you were surrounded by distractions. It taught you persistence when giving up seemed easier. Each challenge was a chapter in the story of your growth. Without those chapters, you wouldn't be the person you're becoming. The truth is, struggle introduces you to yourself. It reveals your strength, your determination, your true character. When everything's easy, you never get to see what you're really made of. But when life tests you, when it puts pressure on you, that's when your real power comes out. Pressure doesn't destroy diamonds, it creates them. The same applies to you. The more pressure you endure, the more resilient and valuable you become. Every time life challenges you, it's offering you an opportunity to grow stronger, sharper, wiser, and more grounded. You can't build resilience by running from struggle. You build it by facing it head on, by refusing to back down, by learning to adapt when things don't go as planned. Resilience is not the absence of pain, it's the mastery of it. It's the ability to feel the fear, the exhaustion, the frustration, and still move forward. It's knowing that even when everything seems uncertain, you still have the power to choose your response. That's what separates those who crumble from those who conquer. The ones who rise are the ones who understand that struggle is not the end, it's the beginning of transformation. Every challenge you face today is building a version of you that can handle the future you're asking for. The struggles you endure now are equipping you for the success you'll experience later. The lessons you're learning in the dark are preparing you to shine in the light. So when life gets hard, when you feel like everything is against you, remember that this is your forge. This is where your resilience is being created. The person you're becoming is being built one challenge, one setback, one struggle at a time. Success is the reward for those who embrace discomfort and keep going, because nothing truly great is ever born from ease. Every person who has achieved extraordinary success has walked through seasons of pain, fear, and uncertainty. They didn't arrive there by luck. They arrived there because they refused to quit when things got uncomfortable. They understood that discomfort is not a signal to stop, it's a signal that you're growing. The path to success is not smooth, it's rough and unpredictable, and only those who have the courage to keep walking through the discomfort ever reach the destination. Discomfort is the birthplace of growth. It's where your mind and body are stretched beyond what's familiar, where you learn resilience, patience, and self-control. Most people run from discomfort because it feels unpleasant, but the truth is, discomfort is feedback. It's life showing you that you're moving beyond what's easy. It's proof that you're expanding your capacity, building new skills, developing inner toughness. Every time you choose to embrace it instead of escape it, you take another step closer to success. The people who grow the most are the ones who don't wait for the perfect conditions. They act despite the pain, despite the fear, despite the unknown. When you're chasing something big, you're going to face moments that test you, moments when you question whether it's worth it, moments when your mind tries to convince you to give up. That's when embracing discomfort becomes your greatest advantage. Because success doesn't come to the one who starts strong, it comes to the one who finishes strong. It comes to the one who stays consistent even when progress is invisible. It comes to the one who shows up day after day, doing what needs to be done even when it's hard. The secret to winning in life is simple. Stay in the game long enough to outlast the pain. Discomfort builds discipline, and discipline sustains success. The people who embrace it understand that temporary pain is the price of permanent growth. Every rep in the gym, every late night of work, every hour of study, every setback endured, they all add up. Each one is a deposit into your future. Success is not about doing what's easy. It's about doing what's necessary. It's about mastering your emotions, silencing the excuses, and staying committed to the process even when it doesn't give immediate rewards. The discomfort you're avoiding is often the exact thing standing between you and the life you want. The truth is, success isn't about avoiding pain, it's about transforming it. It's about using every struggle as fuel, every obstacle as a lesson, every challenge as an opportunity to get better. The people who win in life have learned to associate discomfort with progress. They don't run from hard things, they run toward them. They know that every time they overcome a challenge, they grow in confidence, strength, and wisdom. Each step through discomfort strengthens their foundation and prepares them for even bigger victories ahead. Embracing discomfort also builds mental toughness, the kind that separates the average from the exceptional. When you learn to stay calm under pressure, when you can keep pushing when things don't go your way, you become unstoppable. Most people break when things get tough because they've never trained their mind to handle resistance. But the few who learn to thrive in discomfort develop an inner edge that nothing can take away. They become unshakable. They don't wait for motivation. They move with discipline. They don't wait for confidence. They create it through action. The journey to success is full of discomfort because it's full of growth. Every setback is a lesson. Every delay is a test. Every failure is a teacher. If you can keep going when it's painful, if you can stay patient when it's slow, if you can stay committed when it's uncertain, success becomes inevitable. It's not about luck or timing, it's about endurance. The longer you can endure the discomfort, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the closer you get to everything you've been working for. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is simple. The successful ones learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable. They made discomfort their ally, not their enemy. They stopped chasing easy and started chasing growth. They learned that discomfort is not a sign of failure, but a sign of transformation. When you learn to welcome it, to see it as a necessary part of the journey, you unlock a level of strength that most people never find. Success belongs to the ones who embrace the grind, who walk through the fire, who keep going long after everyone else stops. Because on the other side of discomfort lies everything you've ever dreamed of becoming.